Pretty big day, anniversary of Ape, pretty big day in terms of price action, things that have gone on for us the last 2 days. I had said coming into this week that it was going to be volatile, and boy, has it been. Unfortunately, let's be honest, it's been volatile mostly in one direction. Um, I'm going to talk about my thoughts and feelings about that. I know all of you have your own thoughts and feelings about that. Some things I'm talking to with maybe apes I'm a little closer to, and with some family and friends, share that with you. I don't have all the answers, right? So, this channel, I've been pretty real with you all the way through things when I know, things that I don't know, where I'm confident, where I'm sharing opinion versus DD. So, we're going to do that again today and just try to, attempt to be transparent with each other. I think transparency builds trust, and though, I also say on this channel, there's no trust me bros here. We want to verify, do DD, check data and facts. Facts are our friends. I say all the time on Twitter, facts over FUD. We're seeing a lot of FUD right now. One of the things, you get a little bit more of my heart today than my brain, maybe too. Don't worry, I'll bring my brain to the discussion. But, one of the things we've seen, I've been in this I'm getting close to 3 years now, is there are people in this world who would really like to break us mentally, emotionally. They want to wipe us out and get us out of this thing. And so it is a mental battle. And I want to talk a little bit about that too. But I will as well talk about some of the more kind of business side. If you're not here for the touchy-feely stuff, you'll be fine. First off, speaking of data, a few things I'm looking at. I've mentioned in a couple videos recently, and I think you want to just keep sort of digging at and scratching at this metric, OBV. I just kind of stole somebody else's screenshot here on the left, but I mean, this is publicly available information. So go take a look at OBV, but what you can see is it should tell you, like, go look at a few other stocks that have moved. Like, look at Apple over time. Look at Netflix would be another good example when they dropped, like, I don't know, 9 months, a year ago, whenever that was. What you should normally see with OBV. So you see at the top is our price action. This is way back in June when, here's the January run. So you can see, boom, OBV went up. And then you get the June run. But then look at this. We kind of just stayed up on this plateau. In a way, this is telling you that certainly if you zoomed in on this chart, you'd see a lot more movement. But in general, it certainly does not match the movement of the price. So the price over all that time has been down, 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 right? But apes have not been leaving. That is part of the thesis. That's going to be a problem for the shorts at some point. Sooner or later, the bill comes due. We've talked about that. So this is one metric that kind of says, hey, I don't think enough people have been selling to justify this kind of price action. So that's one thing there. The other thing, and by the way then, continues to highlight the issues with shorting, naked shorting, dark pools, all that kind of stuff. You could really start to go down a rabbit's hole there. On the right, this is not scientific at all. In fact, I think I had some animation. Let me click forward there. On the right, this was just a poll I posted this morning, but boy, you guys blew me away. I mean, you can see 7 hours in, 1,000, almost 1,100 people had voted. Granted, people who follow me on Twitter generally are going to be apes, generally going to be long AMC, and a lot of you are pretty seasoned and hardened veterans of this movement. So that's why I say this is not scientific. It's a very skewed set of data, if you know anything about like data and polls and getting things more accurate. But it is a representation of some subset of people, right? 1,100 people represent a broader group who have said, if you kind of add this top row and this bottom row, 97.2% of those who replied said, I either kept all my shares or I even bought more shares this week. Only 3% said I sold some. And you can see, I said, hey, this is anonymous. Please be real with me. Take it for what it's worth. Not that scientific, but there's 1,100 people who just responded to me. I only have 14,000 plus followers. That's a pretty heavy percent of respondents who are saying, yeah, I'm not doing anything here. I'm holding or I'm even buying more. And OBV, now that's more scientific. The data tells us that. What's more, you can see, this is just someone I've known for a while, kind of in the ape movement. Not that we're close, but we know each other, maybe exchange tweets every now and then, that kind of thing. Alex has been around a long time, kind of maybe you'd almost call him like one of the OG apes. And you can see just here, I grabbed a screenshot of one of his tweets this morning. I've seen some others where I think this number even went up. Just a view on Fidelity that kind of says buys versus sells. And you can see basically we're 4-1 more buying than selling it from retail. And so, if you say, all right, the OBV metric is showing retail bought and stayed. This unscientific poll this morning, retail is staying or even buying more. Fidelity's data is saying retail is buying. So I'm not personally buying this notion of the price action telling us people are getting out or people are scared or anything like that. I've got a feeling we're getting in a stronger and stronger position. It just really sucks in the meantime. I'm not going to lie about that. I don't like it. It doesn't feel good. You don't like seeing what is happening to your portfolio, all that kind of stuff. But the data continues to tell me we're being shown smoke and mirrors. That's just a point of view. You're going to have to decide if you agree with that. I can pull up all kinds of other data to show that. Just wanted to be a little quick today. So something else I'm watching, something else some of my friends are talking about. I thought a friend of mine, an ape friend of mine, kind of had some sharp eyes today and noticed both yesterday and today. He's someone who's actually watched this before, so it wasn't too new to him, but I hadn't been thinking about it this week. If you look at the timing of when the London Stock Exchange closes, you can see yesterday's nosedive on our price action. Then we kind of go straight sideways the rest of the day. And I'd kind of called out yesterday, obviously, how that's not a normal chart, really. And then today, same thing. So you kind of look at around that time that the London Stock Exchange closes, then everything just kind of cools off and goes sideways. Might be just worth watching, apes. Do continued DD. Think about who's over there. And that doesn't just mean it's, British companies. That's American companies as well, obviously trading over there. People all around the world. It's a global stock exchange. But we've seen some DD on that in the past. If you aren't aware that there's, let's say, some shenanigans that go on in London, there are shorts being hidden overseas, a lot of that kind of stuff. So just worth noting, perhaps it's coincidence. I kind of doubt it. That's sort of interesting to note. So I don't know. I'm just saying eyes on London. I want to call your attention to a video I made in the past. This video is demonetized before anybody accuses me of just trying to get clicks. I genuinely think that this would be of encouragement to all apes, and that's why I demonetized it. I think once I tweeted out that I was doing that, and I think I said I demonized the video. I did not demonize this video. I demonetized it. This is all the way back from February. You can see I'm telling you here, February 10th. If you haven't seen this one and you need some encouragement, and by the way, it's not a financial video. This is even about just broader life lessons. And what it takes to really go far. And there's some real inspiration in there. Some people who are just actually fairly well known and extremely inspirational in my life and in many others' lives. And just a discussion on, how do you accomplish big things in life? How do you overcome big hurdles in life? Certainly relevant to what we're going through, but has application far beyond what we're doing here. But I do believe what we're doing here is very big too, and it matters to me. And that's part of why I'm so darn stubborn and I'm not going to go anywhere. And as long as the data makes me feel that with integrity I can come to you guys and say, hey, I like this stock, I'm going to keep doing that. And so, check that out sometime. I really just hope that it encourages you, fills you up with a little bit of strength and hope that you need, whether it's for other things in your life or whether here in this battle that I believe we're in against corruption. And guys, that's the point. And I said that in a tweet today, like either they roll over or we roll over. And as far as I'm concerned, it's not going to be me. I'm not rolling over. And so, do you roll over and let future generations continue to deal with this corruption that we're up against? Or do you say, this time we've drawn a line in the sand and we're not leaving? So I'm apes not leaving. That's where I'm at. So check that video out from February 10th. Just a reminder on a few things. There are 3.8 million of us. Now that's from a call that I listened to myself. I heard it live. That was AMC's lawyers mentioning that when they were trying to ask not to have to send all the postcards because that was going to cost a lot of money. So they quoted how many shareholders there were. I know some people continue to think they might have meant in the U.S. I believe that was global. Again, I listened to that call live and even real time. I took that as a global number. Regardless, it's a big number. Whether this is too small or whether this is the number, there are a lot of us and we are together. And you won't always know, right? Like I can tell you right now, my mom is a hodler. She bought at a very high number in 2021, So perhaps shame on me that I kind of got the timing wrong in terms of explaining the play to her. Um, but she has never once sold a share, and I guarantee none of you know who she is because she's not on Twitter, she's not on Reddit, she's not on YouTube, none of it. And I've got other friends and family who have held their shares, have, and in some cases bought more, and none of them is involved in the sort of social part of this movement either. So you're not hearing from them, you're not seeing them, but I promise you they're there. I suppose I just gave you a trust me, bro, and you can just decide whether you want to trust this bro. But I'm telling you, I've got friends and family who are quiet apes, and they're not going anywhere either. So just feel the strength of 3.8 million people alongside of you. In the meantime, if there's 3.8 million of us, there's 290 million of them being shares borrowed if you add AMC and APE. That is a whole heck of a lot of shares that I believe someday will need to be returned and that are costing these guys to hold. It doesn't cost us to hold our long position. And the other thing I'm just thinking about today is this is some real extreme behavior and some real extreme actions we're seeing our opponents take. And, just pause and think through. The more extreme someone behaves, sometimes that demonstrates the more backed into a corner they are, the more fear they're exhibiting. So we could take it as, oh my gosh, this is terrible. Or we could say, why are they having to get this extreme? And how much is that going to add to their bill in the future? Then ultimately, I always boil down to this. If you'd followed me on Twitter for almost 3 years now, you would know this. I try to simplify it in my mind. Look, we're in a business that's in the middle of the second straight profitable quarter, that's about to secure capital, while revenue streams like popcorn and candy, candy coming, are expanding, and our debtors, the banks, need money. That gives me a lot of comfort and lets me sleep at night, even if I'm disappointed by the price action. Here's another thing I would just say to you, just to encourage you, and I tell my friends this. If out of one side of your mouth you're saying, hey, I really believe there's a lot of manipulation of stocks in the market. You know about high frequency trading, basically nanosecond trading. You know about spoofing. You know about wash sale trades. You know about naked shorting. You know about manipulation of the options. You know about Stokens and a whole host of ladder attacks, short and distort, bully behavior, lies out there, fake news, all of these things. And I'm sure I could list a lot more, and so could you. If at one side of your mouth you're saying, man, there's all that manipulation and cheating, dark pools being another one. And then at the next side of your mouth or in your brain, you're looking at the price to tell you whether we're winning or not. You just said they're manipulating the price. Then you're looking at that manipulated price to decide if we're winning or not. That's when I say smoke and mirrors. I am not going to allow a manipulated number to tell me how we're doing. I'm going to look at things that I know are more real. And boy, let's just look at that. This is the domestic box office, right? Look at that. Up and to the right, this is day by day. This is literally by day, this whole year so far. You can just see how boom, 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 we're flying up. We're up 26% year over year so far, and we continue to climb. This is our business. And popcorn in almost 3,000 doors is our business. And candy coming is our business. And food and beverage at all-time highs is our business. And access now to the shares we need to never go bankrupt is our business. And kicking corruption in the butt is our business. So I'm not leaving. Let's go.